is because I've always thought this was a purely political marriage. It was never a marriage about love. It was never a marriage about, hey, these two people ran into each other in Chicago and fell in love with each other. Barack Obama needed a black wife to be president, and there were people that wanted him to be president. And so he had a very political marriage with Michelle Obama. And once Joe Biden made it impossible for Michelle Obama to run for president this year, because many people thought that they were positioning Michelle Obama to replace Joe Biden. Once she no longer became a presidential candidate, there's actually no reason for these two people to stay married to each other. And as I've always contended and said, a light-skinned brother like Barack Obama does not marry a dark-skinned, tall, mid at best looking dark-skinned woman. He just doesn't do it. And so I've always felt this was political. Now that their political careers are perhaps coming to an end, so is their marriage.
So, Jason, let me agree. That was a horrible picture that they put out for the anniversary or her birthday, whatever it was. It was absolutely horrific. It's like a picture my mother would put out with me in some leggings and my pad bunched up and say, oh, look how much I love my daughter. You know, it was a terrible picture. Nobody that likes the other person would put out that type of picture. And let me just say, Jason, if for some reason they were in love and this is real and this is genuine, obviously I'm not gloating or happy about anyone divorcing or the end of a relationship. But I tend to believe, as you do, that this was all political. Even going back to Barack having any type of black man swag or charisma, the man was born in Hawaii, spent time in Indonesia. Where did he get this cool black man from? Who did he see it from? It was all a lie. It's all been fake. It's all been politically, created. So I do believe that it's a possibility that this whole coming together with Michelle was just to give him some black credit because he didn't have any. This isn't a man who hung on the block in Chicago, as a teenager. All of this has been fabricated, and we kind of bought it hook, line, and sinker back in 2008 or whenever, like, oh yeah, we're getting a real black man with a real black wife. And it was all make believe. So I do think it's possible that, again, I do believe any woman he's with is a beard. Any man that says he fantasizes about sleeping with another man is gay. Whether you were 21, 41, 61, you are gay. So I think any woman that he's with is a beard, but I definitely see this as a possibility because his whole life has been a lie. We would not have wrapped our arms around Barry Soetoro. We wrapped our arms around him because he was Barack Obama. That's as black of a name as you can get.
Certainly the letter he wrote one of these white college girlfriends about dreaming about sex with men or whatever, that's a damning letter, and it certainly says something about Barack Obama. But I wonder if, again, when you go to these Ivy League schools, and again, because when you're at these, not that I've been, but I've heard enough, when you're at these Ivy League schools, there are young people there that are launching what they believe will be very important careers in politics and in shaping the future of America. And so what I've always somewhat thought about Obama is he gets to college, and if he's like Skull and Bones, and I think that's at Yale, I think that's what George Bush was involved in, Skull and Bones. And there's some kind of homosexual penetration that goes on in Skull and Bones, they say. You watch the documentaries and they say. And so what's known, I think, at these Ivy League schools is that sexual fluidity is important for gaining political power. And so I tend to think Barry was the typical half black, half white, nerdy, relatively attractive black dude that liked white women, got to the Ivy League school and said, if I really want political power, I got to be down with the sexual fluidity. Everybody knows it. So he dabbled in that sexual fluidity, but I think Barack Obama at his core was headed to being married to if you move the politics and all that other stuff, he was headed to be married to a woman like Jennifer Aniston. And so now that's what he's doing. And it's like, well, I'm free now and I can do what I really want to do. And what I've always really wanted to do was marry some white girl like Jennifer Aniston and take trips and read books on beaches and go to movies together with Jennifer Aniston. And so he's going to do it. He's definitely gay and had gay experiences, but in his heart of hearts, the guy wants to sit around and play footsie with an attractive white woman, and that's what he's going to do. Bitcoin isn't going anywhere, so why not start stacking some today? The Fold app gives you Bitcoin rewards when you buy gift cards at Amazon, Uber, DoorDash, and Home Depot. Over 50 national merchants. Go to foldapp.com/Whitlock right now or scan the QR code on your screen. New users get a Bitcoin bonus with their first gift card purchase. Start earning Bitcoin rewards today. Fold.
You know, maybe this is why Sasha was seen smoking and just, being fat and out of shape. Maybe she's stressed watching her life fall apart behind the scenes. Of course, Barack would want to be free now. He may go back to Barry or Barbara. Who knows? I just cannot back away from that letter. It is just, as you said, damning. And then the guy that came out and said they had a relationship.
Larry Sinclair.
Yes, and Tucker talks about the fact that I think that Barack is a distant cousin of the Bush family or a distant relative of the Bush family. I just think it's all orchestrated, and we have been sold a lie. After reading the Martin Luther King Jr. files this morning, everything is a lie. Everything we grew up learning is a lie. I was just telling someone, I don't know how much they push Martin Luther King now or to my children, but coming up, this was a man that we were almost taught to worship. And after the things that I read, it's really bad. He's.
Do tell. Hold on, because I didn't read it. I know Virgil tweeted out something that I may have looked at, but I didn't look in detail. What did I miss in the release of these MLK, JFK, RFK files? What did they say about MLK, since you took us there?
Yes. So pretty much, in my opinion, if I just took it down to the bottom line, he was a communist puppet. He had all of these people around him that thought that he was a slow thinker. They didn't want him speaking without consulting with them, known communists and Marxists, and that he identified as a communist and Marxist, but he didn't want it to be public knowledge because of his affiliations with religion. So also they talked about the orgies. He possibly has a baby outside of his marriage. I mean, it was just a lot. And it was not the man that we were kind of taught that did all these wonderful things. It's almost as if the things that he did accomplish was, his strings were being pulled by other people who had other intentions. And so he was just the face of their movement because they were trying to get other things done. I thought he was this, great, smart man coming up with all of these things, and he was this leader. But according to what was released, there were other people pulling his strings that were writing his speeches, telling him what to say. If they didn't like a speech he gave or something that he said, they were upset. I mean, it painted a different picture than what I was taught in school.
It's, hearing that doesn't surprise me. And it connects to the larger point that I was just making about as it relates to Barack Obama and sexual fluidity, sexual promiscuity, sexual liberation. This is all tied to political power. You can't get these big, high-profile political positions without entering into their little sexual fluidity game. And so, again, just like I said, they got Skull and Bones, and I think at Yale, I'm sure they got something at Harvard, and I think it was with this Skull and Bones, you hop in a casket and you get violated from the rear, and it's just, this is how you get to be a George Bush and get to run for president and be president. They have to have the sexual dirt on you. It's part of some ritual or whatever. And so people will hear this and go, oh, why are they dirtying up the name of Martin Luther King? And they're just telling you what the price is for this type of political power. And when you hear people, oh, you're a conspiracy theorist, you're QAnon, when you say that, there's some pedophile sex cult at the top of the American food chain and the top of the global political food chain, I'm not sure if these people are conspiracy theorists. I think there's something to it if we would just open our eyes. If you enjoyed that video, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe so you never miss a moment of Fearless.